So this is my net this morning. I worked on it some. Was it 12 inches in the last video? It's at 14 inches now. It's that's doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but that's seeing as how there's 200 meshes around the circumference of this right now. There's a lot of knots in that 2 inches. Wanted to show you the pattern and the wideners this morning. There are the pattern for this, which this webbing starts out up here like any other webbing, where you tie it and it'll be your first 2 rows of meshes, and then most people will put it on a steel ring. I absolutely cannot stand trying to tie on a split ring because of the way I tie. I sit down on the couch and watch TV and drink some sweet tea and tie on my webbing. And I've found I like tying with the string. Just run a string through all your top meshes, hang it over a nail post on a door, and just go. And I'll tie, sit down and tie, and just till I get bored and fall asleep. So, but the way this works, you'll tie your first 2 meshes. It's 42 meshes, which makes 84 loops. And on your 83rd knot, you'll bring your 2 ends of your mesh together, and then there's if you do a search on how to tie a cast net, you'll come across a forum, and I don't remember exactly what the address is on the forum, but you'll come across a forum. Just do some quick searches, and there's a guy on there that's tied his own cast net, and there's a book by Ted Dolan, I believe, that he makes links to. It's how to make or how to mend and make cast nets or something to that effect. You can look it up real quick and find it. And he goes into the book has a full explanation, and he has pictures as to how to get the net started. I'll start one eventually again, maybe. But just real quick, you tie in any like you would any other mesh, any other webbing, and you come down to your 4th row. And on your 4th row, you'll just tie a widener. Now the widener you just make when you come in and you tie you tie your webbing along, and then when you get to where you want it to, like this knot, you wrap it around your mesh board, and then here you'll tie the same knot, and then instead of skipping to go to your next loop, you'll just tie another loop here and add that mesh in, and then you'll move on. So you'll come down 4 knots, and then you'll go 1, 2, 3, and this one I messed up. I must have went, or I've skipped one somewhere. There are some mistakes in this net because this is my first one. I've tried to tie and I got confused. Hey, but I'm just human, right? So here we go. You'll come down on your 4th row. See, this will be row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. And you'll tie you'll tie this loop in here, and then 1, 2, 3, you'll tie another loop, and then 1, 2, 3, you'll tie another loop, and that's your pattern. You make 3. You on your 4th mesh down, or your 4th row down, your 3rd knot, you tie a widener, and then you'll come down 1, 2, 3 on your. You'll go 4 rows and then 3 rows, and then on the 3rd row it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 knots. Then you'll come another 3 rows down, and it'll be 5 knots. Another 3 rows will be 6 knots across. You keep your wideners in line, and it ends up looking like a panel net. And you can tell how these are getting farther apart because there's more webbing in here. And you have to add the webbing in there, or else your net won't make a circle. It's just simple physics. And it ends up looking like a panel net. It'll have a 14, maybe 15 of the panels, if you will, or the rows of wideners. And whenever you add those meshes in there, it adds to your circumference. Now, I have some mistakes in this net. One that I want to point out is where I got started here, because whenever I come down, and I'm actually ran out of string on the other side of my net on my second needle, so I'll use 2 needles, but I will there's this and it makes for a seamless knot. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if I can tell you where I've tied in. It's just, I mean, there's somewhere in here there is the strips, and you can tell how this mesh comes down. I'll tie in here, and then I'll drop down this string, but I'll make a square knot at the bottom of here, so it just looks like any other mesh. I mean, it looks like this, and I mean, you cannot tell. Somewhere in here is all of the, and it just make a square knot, and somewhere in here is all the square knots that I've made, and they blend just like any other knot. One of my rows of wideners, though, for some reason or another, ended up over here by my tie-in, so I'm going to have to jump this back across here, and I don't know why this is running to the side like it is. So there's some things about this, and then once I figure that out, I will post another video or make notes of it somewhere to sort of help you guys out. But definitely, you can just, if you're interested in making a cast net, you can do a search, how to make a cast net, and you'll come across a forum. I believe it's on abaco.com. It's an amazing forum, and it's an amazing website, and that guy has all kinds of knowledge. He's got all kinds of pictures up there, and it's certainly, that's been where I learned to tie this, other than just jumping in and hanging on to it. So, but don't get discouraged, and don't let it get you down, and certainly don't let it dissuade you from attempting to make one of these. It's very gratifying, and you'll get frustrated, and you'll say, well, you know, I'm not making any progress, and it'll look like it's not going anywhere, and then you'll wake up and you'll say, well, when did it get 4 inches longer? Well, it's because you sat down the night before just tying on your webbing. And so, yeah, there it is. And you can see that's what looks like panels, but that's just the strips of wideners. So questions, comments, please subscribe, please comment, and y'all have a good day.